Welcome to the third and final edition of this evening's In the Ring show. This is my review of ECW November to Remember 1997. Now, ECW November to Remember is, I think that was like their main hub, that was like, for them, that was like their WrestleMania. November to Remember was like their thing. Oh, and by the way, I want to mention one thing. If anybody, when I say I'm doing an ECW pay-per-view review series, don't anybody look for that embarrassment that was the December to Dismember. That was a bullshit pay-per-view. That wasn't even ECW in my opinion. That was just a WWE show. They just put the ECW label on it. I'm talking about the real ECW, not that fake-ass bullshit that Vince McMahon tried to, make us believe he's relaunching ECW. He had all the marks for ECW going, oh shit, ECW's coming back. And then he gives us that watered-down bullshit. Yeah. Way to take the fans' interest and just shit on him, Vince. Good job, buddy. Anyway. So they kick off the show, Joey Styles saying, welcome to November, remember, blah, 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 the usual spiel from Joey Styles at the beginning of a pay-per-view. So we kick off with Tommy Rogers versus Chris Candido. Now, I do want to mention, actually, there's two things I want to mention, I should say. First of all, for those of you who don't know who Tommy Rogers was, he had actually been in a tag team for many years known as the Fantastics. I don't remember who his tag team partner of the Fantastics was. I didn't really follow the Fantastics that much. If somebody can update me as to who Tommy Rogers' tag partner in the Fantastics was, that'd be greatly appreciated. But anyway, it started out as a one-on-one match with Chris Candido and Tommy Rogers. Lance Storm and Jerry Lynn, respectively, both get involved. Lance Storm interferes on Candido's behalf. Jerry Lynn interferes on Tommy Rogers' behalf. So the referee proceeds to turn this into a tag team match where Candido and Storm win the match. A decent match, I thought. So then we had Just Incredible against Mikey Whipwreck. Now, this whole thing was built around the fact that, Just Incredible was this young upstart. He scored a big victory over the Great Sasuke, which was considered an upset. Excuse me. And to this point, Just Incredible had still yet to be defeated. And the other story going on in this match was both Just Incredible and Mikey Whipwreck were really young guys at the time. So it was kind of like a battle of the young guns here. It was a decent match. And Mikey wins with what he called the whippersnapper, which is basically a Stone Cold Stunner that he delivered from the second rope. So after that, we get a backstage segment with Al Snow and Head, and they're arguing with each other, and I'm sorry, this shit was fucking hilarious. You've got Al Snow screaming at a mannequin head who can't talk, and he's actually acting like the thing's talking to him, and I'm sorry, this shit was fucking hilarious. Like, he's yelling at Head, being like, You told him about my shoulder injury, I should be wrestling on this show, and it's because of you that I'm not. And then he's like, I'm the one who's, on the star of this tandem, and blah, 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 and it was just hilarious. And and there's like Nova and Blue Mini were like in the background while this is going on, and they're just kind of looking like, yeah, Al, you're crazy. And then it's like playing along with him, like Nova's like, yeah, Al Snow, big time superstar, yeah, And they're all just thinking this guy's loony. But I mean, and then the segment kind of ended, and then Joey shoots back to Joey Styles, where he says Al Snow got Head in the locker room, and then he's like, did I just say that? But I thought that was extremely entertaining. Joey Styles' little joke there added to it, I thought. So then we get a video package with Sandman versus the Sabu with a little feud they had going on, and talking about their matchup that's going to happen a little bit later in the night. So next, we get Pitbull number 2 led to the ring by Lance Wright, Pitbull number 1, and we get some mysterious steroid freak that was with Lance Wright. Excuse me. If somebody could tell me who that fucking steroid monkey was, that'd be greatly appreciated, because I knew it. I knew back then who he was, but I've forgotten. So if anybody can give me the reminder who the fuck that guy was, it'd be appreciated. So Taz retains after about a 5-minute match. He beats him with a Taz mission. Taz retains the ECW TV Championship. And the reason I brought up that steroid monkey was because after the match, Taz calls out the steroid monkey, tries to get him in the ring. Security starts trying to stop it from happening. Taz starts beating up security. And Paul Heyman, who was, doing commentary with Joey Styles during the Taz Pitbull number 2 match, begs for them to cut to something else, so there's not, so people can't, the pay-per-view audience can't see Taz beat up the security guard. So we get a video of Bam Bam versus Spike Dudley, and then we get another video package following that of Bam Bam Bigelow defeating Shane Douglas the prior month in WrestlePalooza 97 for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Which leads to a rematch between the two later in the night for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. So, then we get a 4-way dance for the ECW Tag Team Championships. This featured the Dudleys, the FBI, aka the Full-Blooded Italians, Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney, New Jack and Cronus. Now, what had happened was, New Jack and Cronus, before the pay-per-view, were the tag team champions. Then at some point before the pay-per-view started, I mean like a couple weeks before the pay-per-view, I guess, the Dudleys had cost New Jack and Cronus the titles, and FBI had beaten them. So the Dudleys and New Jack and Cronus are the first two to get eliminated here. It comes down to the FBI and Balls Mahoney and Axel Rotten. It looks like Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney are about to win. The referee got hit at one point. Out comes Jeff Jones. 1, 2, refused to count to 3. And mysteriously enough, and I don't understand why the commentators didn't notice this, underneath his ECW ref shirt, there was a green shirt that looked like an FBI t-shirt. But none of the commentators made mention of the fact that there was green sticking out of his sleeve. It just kind of left me to wonder, was I the only one who noticed that? Was I the one who noticed it looked like Jeff Jones was wearing an FBI t-shirt under his ref shirt? I don't know, I am the only one who noticed, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, because of the crooked referee, the FBI retained the ECW Tag Team titles. So then we get a video of Tommy Dreamer and Beulah McGillicuddy arriving to the arena. Tommy talking about how he's not 100% for tonight's show, how he's barely 50% if he's even that because of the injuries that he's coming into tonight with. Talk about a busted shoulder, a messed up knee, and stuff like that. So we get a video package of the Dreamer versus RVD feud. So we get next we get the RVD versus Tommy Dreamer flag match. Now what this was about was, RVD was a member of, the WWF faction in ECW. And, Tommy was, of course, representing ECW. And the winner of the match... Now, this wasn't a traditional flag match where the flags are hanging on the corners. This basically was, your basic ECW match where the winner got to wave, their respective flag. So, when it looks like Tommy Dreamer's about to win... out comes Stevie Richards, and out comes Doug Furnas and Phil LaFon. Oh, I almost forgot to mention this. I just said his name and it just clicked into my mind. I just remembered this. I'd like to send my condolences out to the family of Doug Furnas. I watched him in ECW. Wasn't a big fan of his, but I thought he had a lot of potential. I guess he was a big star over in Japan. And he also went later to go on to wrestle in the WWE for a little while. Then he returned to ECW. But yeah, so Doug Furnas, rest in peace. wherever you are, I just hope that, like I said, you rest in peace, and my condolences go out to his family. Um, so after the after the guys I just mentioned all came out to interfere on RVD's behalf, RVD wins, and it was also due to the fact that once again, Jeff Jones comes out and starts decking referees for trying to count down RVD. So next we get Sandman versus Sabu in a ladders and tables match. A decent match. Sabu wins after an Arabian face buster off the top rope with a ladder. During the course of this match, it didn't even really seem like at certain points like either guy was really trying to win. It just seemed like one of them was trying to say, "Hey, I can do a more insane stunt than you." And well, I mean, whether or not Sabu actually won that war, even though he won the match, I'll leave that up for others to decide who go back and watch this thing. So the main event was Bam Bam Bigelow, who was the ECW World Heavyweight Champion at this time, against the franchise Shane Douglas for the ECW World Heavyweight title. A good match. Bam Bam Bigelow dominated 95% of this match. Shane Douglas gets in a couple high-impact moves. One appeared to injure Bigelow's kidney. Franchise, throughout the course of the match, a few times here and there, took advantage of that. A belly-to-belly suplex through 2 chairs and a table allowed him to pin Bam Bam to become a 3-time ECW World Heavyweight Champion. Now, my thought on that whole deal was, I kind of feel that Bam Bam Bigelow only getting to hold the ECW Championship for 1 month, I kind of feel he kind of got the shaft on that one. I'm not saying that Bam Bam should have held the belt forever, until ECW closed. But I still feel that they should have let him have it for more than 1 month just to lose it back to the franchise. Oh yeah, and the other thing, I gotta give you a little backstory for what happened at WrestlePalooza 96, or 97, excuse me, when Bigelow beat Shane Douglas. Rick Rude had basically betrayed the franchise, brought out Bigelow as a surprise opponent. That's when Bigelow beat him. And like I said, that November to Remember, franchise gets his revenge, gets the title back. Once again, even though it was a good match, I still feel that Bigelow gets the shaft by not, being champ for more than a month. I just felt that he deserved a little bit longer title run than that. Now, I understand that Shane Douglas is like one of the big figureheads of ECW. He's like the one who really ushered in the Extreme era. But even so, yes, I know I've said this like 5 times already, but I'm going to keep saying it because, quite frankly, I feel it's true. Bam Bam Bigelow got the fucking raw deal here by only having a 1-month title reign. That's my only real complaint about the match, really. Overall, once again, this show gets an A. ECW in 97, 98, I'm sorry, that shit was phenomenal. That shit was off the hook. You could not beat ECW back then. That's just my opinion. For any of these reviews that I've done, whether it's this one or the other 2 that you're going to be seeing, or, let me know what you thought of these events if you've seen them, or if you're going back to watch them. If you go back and watch them after my review, after you watched it, go ahead and feel free to let me know what you thought down below. So this is the final edition of, the In the Ring show for tonight. The final edition for tonight. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe. This is Devious Damien signing out. Good night, everybody.